Thank you for attending tonight's preseason athletic meeting. The next slides are very important for both parents and student athletes to understand the different rules governing the state of Iowa and the Sioux City Community School District as you participate in extracurricular activities. Please pay special attention to them. If you have any questions, please reach out to either your head coach or your building's activities director.
Attendance in school is a major factor in determining eligibility. Students must be present all day in order to compete or practice in their activity that night. If they miss a class period, they are ineligible. The only exceptions to this rule are for funerals, doctor's appointments, if they provide a note, or college visits. All other reasons for missing school result in ineligibility for that activity that evening. Parents cannot call in students for other reasons to make them eligible. Grades are also a major factor in determining eligibility. The state has a scholarship rule which makes students ineligible for 30 days of competitions if they fail a class in the previous 2 semesters. All classes count towards this eligibility purpose, including college classes.
Student eligibility related to student code of conduct and transfer rules. Code of conduct, juvenile court referrals are going to result in a 25% suspension for your first referral, a 50% suspension for your second referral, and a 1 calendar year suspension for any referral after that. Also note, if you self-report one of these juvenile court referrals, your suspension will be knocked down to 20% for your first one. ISS, in-school suspension. If a student receives in-school suspension, they are ineligible until that in-school suspension is completed. So for example, 3 p.m. after the last day it's served, if it's more than 1 day. So if a student gets 3 days of ISS, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, their eligibility would resume on Thursday evening after they complete their ISS. Out of school suspension, OSS, student would be ineligible until 24 hours after the last day served. So again, if your OSS results in you being out of school suspended through Thursday, you could play again on Friday evening. Note, not following the school or coach's expectations or rules may result in a loss of playing time as well. Transfer rules. If you have questions about transfer eligibility, please contact the activities office at your high school. As we know, each transfer situation is a little bit different. There are a lot of different rules. You'll want to make sure that you check in with your activities office and your activities director to confirm your eligibility due to transfer. Transferring schools generally has an impact on student eligibility in extracurriculars.
One of the lesser known parts of the Iowa Code of Conduct is the college competition rule, which can be phrased, "Don't play up." What all athletes need to know about this rule is that it can end a high school student's eligibility for their entire career. If a student chooses to play in a college scrimmage, a college game of any type. What makes this further complicated is club sports. If and the location of our district is in a tri-state area, Nebraska and South Dakota do not have the same rules and regulations as Iowa. So there might be a club coach that say, yeah, we can play this college team or scrimmage. Please contact your head coach of your team and or your activities director to clarify. So looking at this rule, students are not eligible to participate in any interscholastic sport if the student has in that same sport participated in a contest with or against or trained with an NCAA, NJCAA, NAIA, or any other collegiate governing organization sanctioned team. Students cannot participate with or against high school graduates if the graduates represent a collegiate institution or if the event is sanctioned or sponsored by a collegiate institution. The penalty, a student could result in, again, forfeiting all of their high school eligibility in that sport. For example, Johnny is a track runner and he decides to go into a a track meet where there are other and competes against other college athletes. The second that occurs, Johnny would lose his high school eligibility forever. So again, if you have questions, please contact your coach or activities director.
We do have some required paperwork that needs to be completed prior to competing or participating in your activity. Every student athlete must have a physical on file in the activity office. These physicals are good for 13 months, must be signed off by a doctor and a parent. Also, you need a high school activity code completed and signed every year. These need to be done yearly. They include conduct, concussion protocol, and our policy on college competition that was just previously covered.
Playing time. Playing time is another important topic that we want to cover today. Playing time in high school sports will not be equal. Coaches will decide playing time and have the ultimate decision. Players can potentially increase their playing time by doing the following. They can attend open gym and optional workouts. They can make gains in the weight room, getting faster and stronger. They can do speed training. They can come to summer workouts. They can also build trust in the classroom with their conduct, their behavior, by being a good teammate, accepting their role on the team, and building sport IQ of whatever sport they are playing. If you are unhappy with your playing time, there's a couple things that you can do. First, you can work harder. You can put in the extra work. You can also ask the coach, what do I need to work on to earn more playing time? If you are still unhappy with your playing time, do not skip any steps and follow the steps below. The first step would be that the player meets with the coach. This can be one-on-one. This could be player with the coaching staff. The player can voice their concerns with their playing time. Step 2 would be a player, the parents or guardians, and the coach meet. If we can't reach a further agreement or we don't get an answer that we are happy with, you can proceed to step number 3, where the player, parents, coach, and activity director meet. Again, playing time will not be equal. Coaches will have the ultimate decision on playing time, but there are things that the student athlete and families can do if they are unhappy with their time.
As transportation is provided for all activities, there will be times when our teams are competing in the metro region that transportation is not going to be provided. However, when transportation is provided, it is important that all players ride with the team when that transportation is provided. The only exception is if there is a multi-sport athlete who is competing in 2 different things on one day and might get a ride from their parent to the second event. Transportation home from the event involves some liability, so please ensure that if a student is riding home with a parent, that the parent contacts the coach and informs the coach that they'll be riding home, and the coach writes it down. However, if a parent wants their son or daughter to travel with another parent, it must be done in writing because liability is being transferred to the parent giving another child a ride home. So it's important, whether a text, an email, or a handwritten note, that the parent is giving another parent the right and authority to give their child a ride home.
The parent-guardian role is a vital piece to the success of our athletic programs. There are several things you can do throughout this season to make it a better experience for you, yourself, and your child. Please know your role. Support the team, support the coach, and definitely support your child throughout this season. Please volunteer when asked. The coaches will be reaching out several times throughout the season, seeking help with different opportunities. Please be positive and make it fun. Our main goal is that your child has a great experience. Please don't speak negatively about coaches or players. It will affect your son or daughter and make it a less enjoyable season for them. Please don't make the sport personal. There are games. There will be wins and losses and ups and downs throughout this season. And finally, please do not yell at the officials. Officials are out there doing the best they can do, and we appreciate all of their services. It's a tough job. Please just support your child in your role.
Thank you for attending our meeting tonight to go over some of these important rules and regulations that we have for student athletes participating in extracurricular events. If you have any questions over anything that we covered or have any questions throughout the season, please reach out to your activities office and your activities director. Thank you.